So today we're going to be working on this 2011 E350 Mercedes. They're going to be doing a final diagnosis on this vehicle. That's not final, but it has no code set, so we have to figure it out. So some of the possibilities that it could be are vacuum cleaner. It could be a leaking or clogged injector. It could be a throttle body, restricted throttle body. Could be EGR valve related, could be clogged or stuck open or something like that. And then there's some other issues. So like one of the main issues that I think it could be at least is a vacuum leak. Because what can happen is when you're doing this, these hoses on all these machines, they're all hard plastic. Like this one here, right? It's hard plastic, and so what can happen is when the engine like vibrates enough, these hoses can crack and then cause vacuum leaks. So that's one of the other issues. And then another one that we think might be the main issue with the throttle body, which since hasn't like been taken off and cleaned or anything like that, it gets really dirty and gunked up. So it'll need to be cleaned and then put back on. So here we are. We've got the throttle body off. We just quickly disassembled the thing and took it off there, so it's off. So now, as you can see, we're looking at it, and in here we got some dirt, a bunch of dirt and stuff, and then also we got dirt in here, dirt in here, dirt in there. And what can happen is this dirt can, well, it's like carbon buildup basically. This carbon can build up and it will actually interrupt how the throttle body moves, so it can cause a restriction and stuff, which can cause a rough idle, like we were talking about before, which is our issue. So we're going to start by cleaning this, and then after it's clean, we'll reinstall it and check. And then once we've done that, we'll continue with diagnosis and continue to figure out what the problem is. Alright, so we just finished cleaning the throttle body. So as you can see here, now all that dirt and stuff that was in there before is all gone. It's nice and clean, ready to go. So just some safety precautions and things you should take note of before actually cleaning your throttle body is, number one, see here there's a little bit of a seam there, and what can happen is if you spray your throttle body cleaner like this, and then a whole bunch of liquid, and then it can flow in here, which is where all the electronics and stuff are resting, and then that can just, ruin your throttle body, and that's going to cost you a lot of money. So do not do that. Another important thing is wear safety goggles and use gloves when using this stuff, because it is not healthy, judging by all the WMIS labels on it. So please do not breathe it in and do all that unhealthy stuff with it. And also, one other thing you should do is once you've while you're cleaning it and stuff like that, is don't use a rough metal brush or something on this, because what can happen is you can just scratch it up a whole bunch, and then that will also may affect your airflow and other things later in the throttle body's life. Like if there's 20 gajillion scratches on it, it's and then it's rubbing or something, or anything like that, which can affect how your vehicle operates and idles in the future. So we're going to start by reinstalling it. It's just 4 inverse Torx bolts, and we'll put it back on. Alrighty. Reinstalled the throttle body, and it did not fix the issue. The issue is still happening with the vehicle. So we're just going to, move on to the next step. So our next step is going to be diagnosing the EGR valves. So we're going to start by pulling those out. So we've just finished pulling out the EGR valves, and so what we're going to do is we've cleaned this part up. This is the gasket seating surface, and we cleaned this area, which is also the gasket seating surface. And we've also cleaned these area, which is where the tubes mount to go onto them. Clean this area, clean that area. And we've also cleaned out the inside of the EGR's valve as best as we could. And so now we're going to reinstall these and check if they fix the issue. So we've reinstalled the EGR valves, and that did not fix the issue, so we're going to move on. We're actually going to pull out the full intake now and see if we can find the issue on the intake. Alrighty, so let's get to doing that. Alright, so we have pulled out the intake manifold. We got it right here. So we were looking at the intake manifold, looking around, noticing stuff, whatever, right? And you can notice that inside the intake manifold there's quite a bit of oil, and this may indicate a PCV valve issue. But we also noticed over here This thing. So this thing that I'm talking about is the tumble flap actuator assembly, which actuate the tumble flaps. And what the tumble flaps do is at idle or low RPM operation is they will open, and what they will do is they will interrupt the flow of air from the manifold into the cylinder head. And so what happens is this creates a swirl of air within the airflow, and then this swirl enters the cylinder and surrounds the spark plug. And so what happens is during the compression stroke, fuel is injected into the engine and it gets caught up by this swirling air and is simply surrounding the spark plug, and then the rest of the cylinder is filled up with just air basically. And so there's this small air-fuel ratio area that is surrounding the spark plug. What this does is it will make the vehicle more efficient, and it will make the vehicle have a bit more low-end torque, and it can also provide a little bit of heat loss prevention, because what's happening is this small air-fuel pocket is surrounded by air, so it loses less heat. It's insulated by the air effectively, so it loses less heat to the cylinder head and piston. And so then what it can do, like I said, it will provide a bit more efficiency, and it will also provide a bit more low-end torque. Basically, once the engine reaches a certain speed, like say 2000 RPM or whatever, these tumble flaps are just fully open again, and they don't really affect the operation of the engine. So it's really only a low speed and idle kind of operation, but it allows for more fuel efficiency and better low-end torque, which is the main benefits of what it does. It's broken. See, the plastic is cracked, and whatever this does, I think this is what was causing our issue. And I think what was happening is the intake, it was kind of like getting stuck in the way, so the air would cover it and push it out of the way, but then it would come back and push it back in the way, and so it was doing this, which would generate the issue. Because the issue that we had was it would kind of like a bit of a squeaking noise, and which sounded kind of like that. So we're thinking that this is the issue, and so what we're going to do is, we unfortunately do not have the correct replacement part for this piece at this exact current moment, so we're just going to zip tie this into one spot, and hopefully that will fix the issue. So here we are, we got finished the repair on this. We got a string holding it. You can see it's not going to move too far no more, so it should be all good. So now we're going to start by reinstalling it. So here, let's get right to it.